This is section 6.6, and it deals with finding the mean, median, and mode. Now, many of you are already aware of how to do many of these things, so this will go fairly quickly. Remember, you can always rewatch the video if you are having difficulty with it. Remember that the mean is the same as average. To do that, to find the mean, you find the sum of the data points, add them all up, and then divide by however many there are. To find the median, you order the numbers from least to greatest and then pick the number in the middle. Now, if it's an odd number of data points, that'll be easy. If you have an even number of data points, there's going to be two numbers that are in the middle. You need to find the average of those two numbers. And finally, the mode. The mode is the number that occurs most often. Remember that you can have more than one mode, or you could have no mode. So if you had a data set that went like 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4 would all be modes because they all occur twice. You could also have a data set that has no mode. An example of that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. All the numbers are different, so there's no number that occurs more than others, therefore there is no mode. Now be careful, if there's no mode, you have to write no mode. Do not write 0. If you write 0 as the mode, that would be saying that the data point that occurs most often is 0. So those are some things to watch out for. Let's actually find the mean, median, and mode of a set of data. So we have our data here on the screen there. To find the mean, remember we have to add it up first. So I've already went through and done the math and added that up. And when I added all those numbers up, I found that they added up to 188. Now there are 10 numbers. If you go through and count there's 10 numbers. So I'm going to divide that 188 by 10. And when I do that, I find that my mean is 18.8. So my mean for this set of data is almost 19. Middle, there's 10 values, so I need to make sure I have 5 on this side, 5 on this side. That means my middle is actually right here, in between 16 and 20. And so since the middle is in between 16 and 20, what I need to do is I need to find the average of 16 and 20. So I add those up, divide it by 2 there. 16 plus 20 is 36. 36 divided by 2 is 18. And so many of you could have done that in your head and that'd be fine. Wanted to show you the way that you would find that if it was two numbers that weren't as easy to work with in your head there. And so our median for this problem is 18. Now the mode can be found by actually going through and looking for the number that occurs the most often. And so as we go back and we look at that set of data again that we just had, it's nice to have them in order from least to greatest like we already have there, because then you can start seeing what numbers occur most frequently there. Here 12 only occurs once, 13 only occurs once. Here the 15 occurs twice. The 21 also occurs twice. Since there's no number that occurs 3 times, it means that my mode is 15 and 21. And so both of them are your mode. It's kind of like two things being equally awesome. And even though there's nothing that is as equally awesome as a nice steamy strip of bacon, there are things that are close to it, like sausage. And so there can be two modes and there can be two things that are great, but nothing is as great as bacon. Okay, this lesson has been over mean, median, and mode. Remember that mean is the same as the average, and you add up all the numbers that you're dealing with and then divide by however many numbers there were. The median is organizing the numbers from least to greatest and then finding the number that is in the middle. If there is not a specific number in the middle, if it's an even data set and there's two numbers in the middle, there are two numbers in the middle, then average those two numbers to find the median. And finally, the mode. The mode is the number that occurs most often. Now, there could be no mode if no number occurs more than once. There could be more than one mode if there's a bunch of numbers that occur the same amount of times. There could also be a mode of 0 if 0 is the number that occurs most often. This material is some of the favorite stuff that we go through. It reminds me of my days back at Dennis and Slushwig, and one person who has connections back to Dennis and Slushwig is Taylor in my 5th period class. And so Taylor, if you're listening, this is your shout out. It also reminds me of talking with friends. And one time I was talking with a friend and they said, you should come over for a while. No one is home. And so I went over to his house and no one was there.